Sowers rejoice as JOANN files for an IPO. Hi everyone, I am Rachel Heise. Sorry, the title is incorrect. I am Florian's wife and the other half of Heise Says, and I am taking over the US channel today. So I found an article for Florian this morning, and he said, nah, I think you need to talk about this one. So bear with me, please be kind in the comments, and let's have a look at this article about JOANN filing for an IPO. So for our Australian audience, JOANN is a fabric store, basically the equivalent of Spotlight. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll understand that Florian complains that I have two hobbies. I have a sewing hobby and a fabric collection hobby. And so I joked with him this morning going, honey, we can buy this IPO and I can add to my fabric collection. But he kind of thought, oh, Rachel. Any way to add to your fabric collection. So let's have a look at this article. So fabrics and crafts retailer JOANN, buoyed by a pandemic-fueled surge in sewing and home crafting, has decided that now is the perfect time to stitch together a winning case for an initial stock offering. Yay! I know lots of people have decided that this pandemic is a time to, let's say, get out the old sewing machine, dust it off, and there's been a lot of new sewers in the forums, and it's great to see. So the 78-year-old chain today filed an S1 registration with the SEC for a public offering. The company plans to list on NASDAQ under the symbol JOANN. The stock prospectus outlines how 2020 was a very good year for JOANN, with a total comparable sales up 38%, wow, since May 2020, and over 8 million new customers added to the marketing database. JOANN executives contended, however, that those gains reflect societal trends that were beginning pre-pandemic, as well as tech improvements the company made to become a better omni-channel retailer. That's true. I know that from a lot of the people I follow on Instagram, sewing and slow fashion is becoming a bit of a conversation starter for people who want to move their wardrobe to be more sustainable. That being said, I'm not sure that going to big box retailers for your fabric is necessarily any better. It probably just eliminates the cheap labor when it comes to making the clothing, but it doesn't eliminate the fabric production itself. But, you know, whatever gets people sewing. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've done a lot of work and really transformed the business to take it to a new level. JOANN President and CEO Wade Milquan told Forbes in an interview today. Those measures, Milquan said, including investing in talent and in its mobile app and digital ecosphere, refreshing the brand and its stores, and improving sourcing capabilities. While the pandemic may have given stay-at-home consumers the time or incentive to begin sewing, quilting or crafting, there were trend tailwinds boosting sales pre-pandemic. There were a lot more do-it-yourself, a lot more personalization, and major movements on market exchanges like Etsy and Spotify, where people are converting their kitchen table into manufacturing plants. Oh, I'd love to, but I cannot leave a project out because when the kids wake up before me, and yeah, they unthread my sewing machine. If they find pins, they're all over the floor, and I have to make sure they're picked up before the baby gets up. Yeah, not all of us can have manufacturing plants in our kitchens. Some of us have to back up. Anyway, we feel those solid trends and play into really well. JOANN was born in 1943, when 6 German immigrants opened a fabric store in Cleveland, Ohio. Over the years, it has grown to 885 stores in 49 states. The company adopted the name JOANN Fabrics in 1963 and in 2018 rebranded itself as JOANN to position itself beyond fabrics and into the broader crafts market. It's a bit like Spotlight here, where it's not just fabric, it's also crafts and scrapbooking and costumes and haberdashery and curtains and linen. So you've certainly, Spotlight isn't just for sewers anymore, and I'm sure it's the same over there. It previously was a public held company from 1969 until 2011, when it was sold to private equity firm Lbry Green for $1.6 billion. The president became CEO in 2019. The public offerings pros spelled out in the prospectus include: the home crafting market is large, over $40 billion. Yeah, I'd believe that. And growing. I think everyone who's got a home crafting hobby probably has more projects and supplies than they ever have actual finished garments. JOANN is the category leader in sewing with approximately 1/3 market share. Sewing related products made up 49% of JOANN's total net sales in the 12 months that ended October 31, 2020. Over 65 million people in the US can sew. Fantastic. And over half of those own a sewing machine. Great. Wonder how many own an overlocker too. I really want an overlocker. Anyway, we'll get there. And the population of sewing enthusiasts is getting younger, with 65% of them 30 or younger, with the average age decreasing from 48 in 2004 to 37 in 2020. That's me. I'm the average sewer. Over 50% of JOANN's in-store net sales cannot be directly comparison shopped because of proprietary fabric patterns and designs and exclusive private label offerings. Now that's really important because there are a lot of fabrics, and if you like a designer and their fabrics, you'll tend to go back and keep going back. For Christmas, I bought fabric online for the first time simply because I wanted an Australian designer. And you just can't get that at Spotlight. So this dress, I got the fabric at a garage sale, so no one else has one like it. Okay, the risk factors as spelled out in the prospectus include debt of, that's close to $1 billion. Wow. 929.7 million as of October 31st, 2020. Sourcing problems and tariff concerns caused by dependence on Chinese imports. Well, maybe they need to go to India. Intense competition from other two specialty retailers in the craft space, the Michaels Company and Hobby Lobby stores, as well as from mass merchants Walmart, Target and Amazon. JOANN has an advantage as a retailer because the fabric and craft shoppers often want to see and touch fabric or yarn in person in a store rather than buy online. Now that's 100% true, because it's very hard to judge the quality of fabric online and the color, because your screen is backlit. It's always going to come up lighter than it is in person. And also the drape, even if it's very hard to see whether something's going to fall and flop or just stay stiff online. You have to see it, you have to touch it, which is why most sewers will either stick with the online retailers they use and like, or they will buy in person. Many of JOANN's online orders are fulfilled from its stores, either shipped to home or pick up in a store. A large percentage of those customers will come into the store and buy more items. I'd be one of them. Micklin said, so we are able to leverage our stores, he said, and increasingly people love our curbside option. The retailers that have the biggest growth potential, Micklin said, are the players with omni capacity of stores in our space because of that interplay versus pure plays, he said. Well, that just sounds like marketing spin, doesn't it? Social media sites as Instagram have also fueled the growth of sewing and crafts and made this a good time to be in the space JOANN occupies. Sewing is kind of cool again. Woohoo! I've always thought I may not be cool, but that's the thing. I love my clothes to fit, and if you want them to fit properly, you got to do it yourself. And believe it or not, the majority of people coming into it are on the younger side, he said. They're evolving and doing a lot of things that maybe my grandmother wasn't doing, but really revitalizing the space. Which is true. You are getting a lot of indie pattern makers, and you're getting a lot of really exciting things happening in the sewing space, and a lot of interest in historic, probably history bounding as well, and cosplayers. So it's really quite broad. I did have another article which went into more of this IPO. It's actually releasing on Thursday US time, which would be now. So I think I might have to tell Florian that he's missed the IPO, but perhaps we'll see how it goes when it's actually on the market. Because he's like, wow, you actually want to buy shares? I'm like, it's fabric shares. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the Rachel Heise takeover of Heise Says US. I hope you enjoyed. I can't promise when I'll be on next, but it will be every so often. So if you like the content that we produce on this channel and you'd like to support us, there's many ways you can, and they are all listed in the description below. I won't go through them one by one because I just don't have Florian's spiel down pat. And of course, if you have any comments or you disagree with my passion for sewing, please let me know down below. And thank you for watching. Bye.